Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the next episode of With Conviction, a story of hope, horror, and history. My name is Rain, my pronouns are she, her, and I am your GM for this adventure. With me are my scheming heroes for this campaign. Why don't you all introduce yourselves?
Hi there, I'm Alice. I use she and they pronouns. I play Desdemona Hartwood, who also uses she and they pronouns. And Des is a Rose Heart Guardian. She's a sort of gothy, punky young lady with a heart of pink and some brand new wings and realistically a minimum of scheming. Look, Rain, the schemes, don't worry about it. It's fine.
I'm Skyland. My pronouns are they and them, and I play Chris Whitlock, whose pronouns are she or any. Chris is our extremely sporty, magical not a girl, who is our firebrand artillery. Now, despite being the team's probable shot caller, Chris has definitely done the least scheming.
And I am Rob. My pronouns are he, him, and I play Eliza Hardwick, whose pronouns are she, her. Eliza is our fiery warrior and stalwart soul magical girl, and she has been doing a moderate to high amount of scheming lately.
It's all Rob's fault.
Mm-hmm.
Totally.
You're gonna love it.
Let's go with that.
And the last we had left you, you had recently emerged from your first delve into this mysterious, creepy pocket dimension. And shortly thereafter, you had not only been accosted by the detective who had been questioning you, but later by a man who refused to identify himself, who seemed to know at least as much about your situation as you did, and mentioned to you that these aforementioned creepy pocket dimensions were referred to as grays. He refused to elaborate beyond that and largely left you to your own devices, whereupon you had decided not to try and rely on someone who wasn't giving you anything to work with and to work under your own power. So, having decided to do that, what are you all up to?
I have a minor note of something I forgot to say during the last session, but it did happen. Eliza talking to Faith had covered her making sure that her mortal tie was safe. So she has cleared stress and conviction and picked up an experience point that she spent on the new skill Silver Tongue, which is for lying, deceiving, and manipulating.
Perfect.
I think we might want to open today with Eliza getting a ding on her phone. In the Pancake Squad chat, there is a text from Chris. It reads, "Do we have a plan? Question mark. If I'm going to be our shot caller, I need to know what we're doing."
We get a shot of Eliza, who I think she actually closes Guilty Gear, which she was playing when she got that, and just looks at her phone and types back, I was thinking we just head back in and head to that spire, see about burning it down. We might have to fight our way through those fires, but we've been practicing.
I'll turn my gay audacity up to 12.
Oh, it goes past 11? Wow.
Chris sends a laughing emoji.
All right, and do we want to do anything else before we just cut to them going into the gray?
Did Desdemona get to clear stress and conviction? Alice, did you want to?
She did not get to do that. I'm fine on both right now. Just for a heads up, I've got 2 stress and I'm at -2 on the darkness conviction part of the track.
Okay.
So I'm doing okay on stress and conviction.
Cool. So, the sword cuts down through the air and the portal hangs open in front of you.
Eliza, before stepping in, looks around and up, curious if there's a drone watching them that doesn't belong to them. Because after that encounter with the librarian guy, she's a bit suspicious. But she steps in.
You can make me a check to look around if you would like.
Let's see. I don't think any of her skills would count unless you want to make it finding patterns.
No. I
Okay.
don't think so.
Well, she rolled an 8.
As far as you can tell, there's nothing visible.
Mm. All right. Well, no hesitation. Eliza steps into the gray, still in her casual outfit for the moment.
All right, let's get in, close it up most of the way, transform up, and scaly forward.
We do the whole setup thing of getting Eliza has her phone connected to the other two back at her apartment and transforms. Should we roll for that?
Yes.
All right.
Alrighty.
Eliza rolls another 8, so she's going to take that shift towards darkness.
Oh, no. That is a 7 for Chris.
7 for Des as well.
All right.
Mhm.
Which direction are y'all shifting? You can choose not to shift.
I don't think Des shifts this time.
Okay. I didn't think you would want to.
Chris is going to shift 1 toward light.
All right. So, as that light clears, you see the same sludgy gully, the same skeletal trees. Looking around, you can see some cannons on top of the ridge, one of which seems to be intact, but the other two have had their axles cut, and it's a quite familiar scene. What do you do?
All right, so I think we just get Eliza flying up to the edge of the gully and looking at this cannon. It's like, we're in a different place than we were. This one's not broken.
How many us's away is the spire looking?
Presumably we can still see the spire.
From here, you can't see yourself, so it's hard to judge distance, but you can see the spire. And you can see like an agitated cloud of bees around it. More
Bees.
of those dots.
Hmm.
Can Chris roll inspect just to get a sense for order of magnitude? Not exact numbers, but order of magnitude.
Okay.
That is a 7 plus 1 is 8.
All right. As you said, it's difficult to get precise numbers, but it may be some hundreds, somewhere in the 4 digits on the top end, but much more likely somewhere in the high 3 digits.
Oh, we ran away from 12 last time. We've got at least 100, maybe like 1,000 of those things to deal with. We either need a way more robust plan or a way to go under and around.
I know, Chris, that you've got some earth powers, but I don't think that constitutes an ability to tunnel, right?
Not that I know of. I can try.
Hmm.
Not what I'm good at, though.
Mm,
Maybe we could do something like a decoy? Draw a bunch of those creatures away?
Oh, one more thing that you do happen to notice as you are examining these things, motion catches your eye in a field just off to your right side. There appears to be dirt digging itself. What looks like just a plume of dirt that is kicked up in the air and falls, and then another plume kicked up and falls, and it just keeps doing that.
Before we get pulled into that, Eliza is actually going to check. Do we have caissons here along with the cannon?
No.
Okay, good to know. Also, I want to apologize to our listeners for what I said about gunpowder being corrosive. I was thinking of 19th century primers, which were corrosive. Gunpowder isn't, and I am sorry for making that mistake.
Right. And everyone listening is super upset that you would make this extremely minor and niche Mistake.
If I had Twitter, they would be all over me. Anyway,
Okay, so what tools do we have at our disposal? We could figure out something with the cannons. We could figure out something the three of us do together. We can.
do we want to check out the mole man over there?
Yeah, we want to investigate Ghost Dog.
Yeah, that was. It looks a little bit like a geyser, but dirt. Let's
Dirt.
go.
Eliza sticks the cavalry saber through the loop in her skirt and manifests her actual magical sword.
Okay, getting closer to this, you are now out in the middle of a field of just dirt. And you get closer and you almost walk into a trench in the ground that you had not seen from your angle. But as you get closer, you come up on top of it and you realize that's where the dirt's coming from. You can see a pile of dirt starting to accumulate on one side as it is extracted from this trench and looks like it's being scooped up and tossed by something invisible onto the pile.
How normal does this dirt look?
Aside from being a darker color than it should be, it actually is behaving remarkably like normal dirt.
Eliza has an idea.
Involve a Ghost Dog.
Maybe. What Eliza does, she's gonna grab a handful of this loose earth, and she's looking for like the point where the digging is actually happening, where you said it looks like something invisible is digging, and she just tosses a handful of dirt into that point to see if it bounces off something invisible.
It does. And then the digging stops.
Hello?
There's no response. And then the digging kicks up again.
Did anyone speak Ghost Dog?
How far would this thing be from the spire if we were at the spire?
Hard to say. I don't think it would be too close, but these tiles are not very large, so it's definitely not on the position of the spire.
Okay.
How deep is the trench?
At the moment, it's a good 5 feet deep. Someone's been working on this for a minute.
Hey, Chris. Could you gently catapult this thing with your little earth powers?
Chris turns to Des and sort of tilts her head and frowns and smiles. I can try. Let me. Hold on. She turns and looks to where the invisible creature is digging. She repeats what Eliza did to sort of let the creature know that something is happening. And the first thing she does is she tries to just lift the critter with just an earth pedestal.
You are specifically using earth and not stone, yes?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, first off, the digging stops. And then in the pedestal you lift, you see a pair of boot prints appear. And then another set of footprints, and another as it shifts position. And then no more appear as it seems to have stepped off the platform.
Nobody has any paint, right?
No, and I think even if I did, I would have, transformed it away.
If only somebody had like a little compact with makeup in it or something.
Well, also transformed that away. Also, I lost mine, so
Oh no, really?
yeah. Either way, okay, so it's not a ghost dog. That's good.
It starts digging away the pedestal.
Chris transforms that pedestal to stone.
Eliza raises her eyebrows. She didn't know Chris could do that.
There's a chip in the stone, but it doesn't move.
Is that noise? Is that like the sound of a shovel hitting stone?
You can hear the crack of the stone, but you don't hear the sound of metal.
Okay.
Out of curiosity, does anyone try to wave their hand through where it looks like this thing might be standing?
That's where Chris is going next.
Boy, do it.
Chris goes up and gently tries to like pat around the outside of where she thinks this person would be and closes her hands further and further until she hits something.
You hit your own hand as you close your hands together, and there doesn't appear to be anything there.
Legally, I think I'm required to say curiouser and curiouser as an Alice.
It came with your name change.
Yeah, exactly. It was written on the court order.
How likely is it that this person is visible in a different tile?
I like that idea. Let's maybe. Why don't we fly over in the. Let's check some other tiles.
Can we have our girls in the chair mark this on our map?
Oh, 1 second. I assume you all are on the phone this time.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it.
All right, thank you.
Waiting for the mini map on the HUD to
I was just
update.
gonna say.
Eliza's being very quiet and contemplative as she looks at this.
Mm,
Yeah, I think checking another tile to see if this trench is being copied is a good idea.
yeah. It would also tell us a few things about the way this place works. So.
Eliza's jetpack unfolds and she offers Chris her hand.
All right, ladies, take me over the rainbow.
Okay. DM, we do that.
Yeah.
All right. As you rise into the air, the first thing you notice is that, like a startled hive of bees, those dots immediately start rushing in your direction.
Hmm.
Oh boy.
That's bad.
That spire is many, many us's away, right?
Looks like it's a few U's away. It's not. It's some distance. It will take them a minute to catch you, but it's not so far that you can ignore them.
Uh-oh.
Down.
Down.
Stay flying just over the trees.
And anyone who wishes can make a perception check while you are diving.
8 on the dice plus 1 is 9.
Well, it's not Eliza.
I'm not even trying.
That's fair.
We're busy flying. You're the one who actually sees it.
At the front of this cloud of monsters, you see something that you can only describe as. It looks like something tried to shape a wyvern and a horse together without really understanding what either of those things are?
Like someone told them about the idea of a wyvern and a horse.
Yes, and you can see something that looks like 4 legs that also reach out into wings.
Oh.
Eliza's fire emblem instincts have kicked in and she's looking for who on our side has bow abilities.
We are 100% in Marginalia land. Medieval Marginalia everywhere.
So, are you diving back to Earth, or what are you doing?
Chris said skim the treetop, so I think that's what we're doing for now.
We're trying to get to
Yep.
the same part of the tile that we were in before.
All right, the people who are doing powered flight, I need you to roll sprint or something related.
Ooh.
Could I roll shield check or endure?
I don't think so.
Try to get us to the repeat.
Well,
Eliza rolls an 8.
Des rolls a 6.
Uh-oh.
And the other side also rolls an 8. They're getting closer.
All right, so we get to when we get to that same field, is there another trench being dug?
You are skimming over the trees and you get to the next field. In this one, it doesn't look like there's a trench being dug. You can see parts of what might be a trench, but they're definitely not as deep and they're sort of scattered hither and thither.
Eliza points to the nearest stand of trees and it's just like, okay, let's get to cover.
Yep, down.
Roll again.
Oh boy. Well, it was a 7 that time.
The 6 again.
Oh no.
They rolled a 6 as well. So you are able to, between the two of you, get into the copse of trees and out of line of sight of the sky safely before they pass overhead.
Chris motions for everybody to stay down, and she watches the sky very carefully.
There is a rush of wind as I would say these things blot out the sun, but there is no sun here. There's just sort of a gray twilight. It's like watching a storm of cicadas. They are loud and unpleasant, although it's not so much a buzzing as it is a rush of wings and groaning chatter. And you can see that horse wyvern thing at their head leading them.
Do they continue generally in the direction that they had been going, or
Yes.
do they turn? Okay. How long is it until they are past?
5 seconds, 10 seconds, 15. It takes somewhere maybe 40, 45 seconds before the entire swarm is passed. And looking back at the spire, you can see that not all of them came with.
We're talking thousands.
Hard to tell exact numbers.
A lot, certainly. Way, way more than 12. Like, 10 times at least.
Moment. They're out of position.
Part of them are. Do you think we can bait the whole group? Can we bait all of them?
Maybe. But I think right now we're just gonna see about getting as close as possible. And we're gonna go on foot, because if we fly, these things will spot us.
You keep talking like that, I'm gonna have to let you be the shot caller.
Well,
It's good. I don't
oh,
mind the help.
okay.
You're better at plans than I am anyway. But yeah, let's go.
All right.
So where are you going?
I think we're just heading due towards the spire.
Okay.
Sticking to woods when convenient, but not going out of our way to do so.
The woods here are the same woods that you've seen thus far. Monochrome trees and tendrils of underbrush obscure the way forward. The fog conceals the ground beneath your feet, making progress tenuous at best. The only sounds are your own breathing, your own movement. Until somewhere up ahead, there's a glow in the fog. Faint, orange-yellow, almost completely choked by the mist, but there nevertheless.
That fire?
Can Chris get a closer look?
You trying to get closer?
Sorry, a more careful look.
Yeah. As you look, you can see a scrap of color in the fog above this light. Or rather, as you look a bit closer, a scrap of colors. Red, white, and blue flutter feebly in a dying breeze, ragged cloth clinging to a staff hanging at a tired angle. You can see some kind of figure leaning against it.
Chris points this out and points out the details. Thoughts? Do we investigate?
I mean, there's no way that anyone here is friendly, right?
Maybe. A war has to have two sides.
Or more.
Yeah, but we're one of those sides.
The digger didn't hurt us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Hard to
I
know
don't
if the
know.
digger existed.
Eliza is trying to tell if this red, white, and blue is the stars and stripes, or if it's that X pattern that she does not like.
It is very much the stars and stripes, not the stars and bars.
She's walking towards it.
Okay. Alright, Des, let's go.
Des pulls her wings in tight, pops her shield out, and hurries up behind Eliza.
Chris picks up a stone.
Eliza's got her sword in hand.
As you get closer, you can see that the figure leaning against the flagstaff is a man in a blue uniform. He's got a saber and a pistol sheathed at one side. His shoulders slump, his face turned away from you and toward a small campfire. He leans on the staff of the banner as though weighed down by 100 years. Around him, you can see as you get closer, other men huddle around the speck of color and warmth. Fog rolls heavy around them, but the fire staves it off. They all share the same uniform. Wool jackets are worn and muddied. Caps are shot through and torn. One man's arm is bound in a sling. Long, wood-furnished rifles lay heavy on weary shoulders. As you get closer, you can hear them hum. A slow, half-remembered tune that wants to be accompanied by drum and marching step, but the words are gone. They startle at your approach. Muskets are raised, a revolver is drawn. They brace as if for an onslaught, but as they turn toward you, you get a good look at their faces, or rather, where their faces should be. Any hint of expression is gone, replaced by a vague, dreamlike fog. Your eyes slip off their lack of identity, gesturing instead toward generalities that group them together. As you emerge from the fog and get closer, they stop and look at you and lower their weapons, and you can see some of them muttering to each other, though it's too quiet for you to hear what they're saying at this distance.
Okay, so they don't.
Eliza, come back.
It's okay. They're friendly.
Get back here now.
They're Union soldiers.
Get back here now.
Rain, you said they lowered their weapons, right?
Yes.
Okay, then I think. Sorry, Chris. I think Des would ignore Chris in this one instance and wave and like shout out to the soldiers. Go, hello there.
I know they're friendly. I just wanted a plan.
The one carrying the flag has his revolver pointed upward and, in a safe direction where it's not pointed at anyone. And he kind of takes a step forward. He doesn't have any more of a face than anyone else, but still, as if the words are coming from a dream, you can hear a voice, vague, masculine, but that's all you can make out. Hello there. Who are you?
Des leans over. Guys, I'm really good with people and all that, but I don't know anything about the Civil War other than that, the basics.
Eliza's wings unfold again, and she just says, "You can think of us as angels."
This immediately, there's just a ripple of conversation between some of the soldiers, and you actually do hear the word angel several times. And the man with the banner, have you been sent to help us?
No, but we might anyway.
Well, come on around the fire, I guess.
Chris, it's safe.
I know. I just wanted a plan.
Eliza steps forward and stands near the fire. She kind of like holds a hand out to see if it's actually giving warmth or not.
It is, surprisingly. That seems to be how it's keeping the fog away, because anything that gets too close is...
So fire is pushing the fog back?
Just by the function of its heat.
Like we're talking like fog physics, essentially.
Yeah, warm air does that to fog.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's not anything supernatural.
Okay. Des leans over to Chris and goes, "Okay, Chris, I think they're just people. We weren't trying to ignore you or anything. I don't think we super need a plan with this one. I think we just need to talk to them."
Yep, that's fine. You're the people person. Go for it.
Okay, yeah. Des walks forward. Also mirroring Eliza, she spreads her wings out as well so that everyone can see her fancy new wings.
Your stained glass wings catch the light from the fire in amazing ways, and that is refracted off through the fog, setting off another round of conversation.
Alice, what colors are they seeing all of a sudden?
You know, that's a great question.
Red, white, and blue.
I thought we were talking
yeah.
about the trans flag.
It is absolutely the trans flag, but I think in this weird like half light between the fog and the campfire, I think Des walks up to it and like turns to face everyone in the camp with her wings and her back to the fire, and I think we do get, it's not quite the red, white, and blue of the American flag, but close enough that maybe the soldiers here will feel that way.
In this monochrome place where color is shockingly rare. So what are you all doing?
Eliza has a question for them immediately.
Oh, as a side note, Des gets courage for that.
Oh, thank you.
Nice. Eliza just looks around and says, "Are we the first angels you've seen?"
One of the men shakes his head, and it's weird because again, there's no indication that he's speaking because he doesn't. If there's a face there, it's covered by this weird mist that moves with him. But you do still hear the same voice that came from the other guy.
Oh.
No, the angel of the battlefield has been with us this whole time.
Can you take us to her?
There's some looks between them, and the one carrying the revolver and the flag thinks for a moment. If we give it a bit more time before those things move on, then it'll be safe to move.
Eliza nods and looks at the other two. She's very earnest, very excited. This is what she came to here for.
Need you to understand how fucking long I've been waiting for this.
I think Des is kind of seeing this as this has been one of the only things that has made much sense to Des since we got here. So I think she wants to sort of rally people behind her, behind the three of us. So yeah, I think with her wings still spread out, I think she calls out and asks the group what they are here for.
There's some awkward looks between them, and I think some of them shrug. A couple of them mutter survival at this point, and at least one of them mutters something about the secesh. And it's again weird because they're all using the same voice.
Right. It's like a weird auto-generated crowd kind of thing. No, it's Skyrim.
Eliza,
Mhm.
I'm gonna give you a +1 for this because you've been doing this across the country. Roll me a history check.
Okay. Well, 7 plus 1 is 8.
Yeah, you have this horrible feeling that you recognize what this is.
What do you mean?
These people don't have identities.
Ah,
They are all identical. You've seen people who have lost parts of their identity to these
Oh,
monsters before, but this is the worst you've ever seen it. You didn't know it could get this bad. You didn't know that people could lose their very faces.
and Eliza has this sinking feeling, and she has to ask for confirmation. She's the person who needs to be certain. She asks, "Soldiers, what are your names?"
They look between each other, shrugs. It's been too long.
Let's see if we can do something about that.
If anyone can, it's the Lord's chosen, so we're right behind you.
What was that?
He gestures at you. Angels.
Chosen.
Des looks confused as well, and she glances at Chris with like a confused look.
Chris shrugs and looks at Eliza.
Angel means messenger. Chosen messengers of God.
Are you all saying this in front of them, or are you having this between yourselves?
I think those things are synonymous right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So far, the only thing that has been said was Eliza saying messengers of God.
I mean, I don't know about that.
Let's step aside for a second. Little
What's going on? You can hear Faith chirp in your ear.
1 second, Faith. We got a quick question for you. Thanks, everyone. Your angels will be right back. And she's gonna try to pull everyone to a part of the camp where people aren't gonna really be able to overhear them.
To be clear, when I say camp, I really mean some people sitting in a circle around a fire. It's not hard to get away from them.
Yeah.
We'll just step away from it a bit.
That's what I assumed.
Ah, okay, cool.
So Faith, did you catch much of that?
No, I can't really hear anything that you all aren't saying.
Oh, okay. Well, we met some people, and they called
They
us.
try to kill you?
No, actually.
Incredibly, no, yeah. So
Oh, that's good.
little miracles. However, they did call us. What was it? Angels of God, the Lord's chosen.
The Lord's
Well-
chosen.
Now, in fairness, I put the term angels into their head, but I figured young winged women, it would be easier to make sense to them like that, so
Too bad they're not Norse.
I just
You-
didn't want to have to explain 160 years of future to what I'm pretty sure are people who have been stuck in here since the Civil War.
Yeah, it looks bad. But okay. I think Chris and I are a little confused.
Confused about what?
Let's just say, my gods are not your god.
Oh, okay.
And
Well, hmm. Well, how much do you know about history?
Ooh,
Eliza's just vibrating silently.
um, look, previously haven't really needed to know all that much about uh, history beyond the broad strokes and America Bad and all that. But I, Why? What are you digging at?
Eliza, I can hear that. Do you want to tell them about religion during the Civil War, or?
Why don't you go ahead and handle this one?
Okay. Long story short, um, it was a period of very intense belief for everyone, and this. So it would not surprise me at all if soldiers from the Civil War saw you and immediately interpreted that through their worldview of, you know, angels. I think I think Eliza might have made the right call there. That definitely would make more sense to them than anything else that we could offer. Explaining that you have magic would probably get a little bit weird.
Okay, so we're rolling with it. Moving on.
I mean, we don't have to if you don't want to, but
We need everything we can get.
Yeah, I think we can use this.
okay.
We need. She sort of sighs. We can't do this alone. If their angel of the battlefield is here and real, we should find out what that is, I think.
Oh, yeah, one of them mentioned the angel of the battlefield, said we're not the first angel they've seen.
Which sounds like Eliza's particular historical fixation.
My angel of Shiloh.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go talk to them. I
Mhm.
will I'll see what I can find out. Okay, so we wander back over to the where everyone is gathered. Des walks back up to the campfire and goes, "Okay, your angels are here to help. Uh, what can we do to help all of you and to help out your angel?"
Do you have a way out of hell? And I think that's a good place for us to end this episode. Thank you all so much for listening, and thank you to my players. I hope to see you all next time, and have a good night. Thank you again for joining us on this adventure. With Conviction is a production of Silver Maiden Games. If you would like to play Conviction, check out the game at silvermaidengames.itch.io. Music for the intro and outro of this podcast is A Soul with Conviction by Doom Vega, who you can find on Bandcamp. Music within the episodes is by Rachel Rose Mitchell, who you can find on Bandcamp and Spotify. All rights to the music are retained by their original artist. Production and editing are done by myself and the With Conviction cast. Thank you all. This would not be what it is without you. You can find this podcast on Spotify and YouTube or silvermaidengames.wordpress.com. You can also find more about the game, podcast, and ways to contact us at silvermaidengames.wordpress.com.